What do you remember about the setup on the day of the St. Mary's show?
So on the day of the St. Mary's show, it's like Christmas Day for me. You know, getting to do a big gig, be the headliner. The envy, the shock, the shame. You know, always the bridesmaid and all that kind of stuff, you know. It was just a cool venue, you know. I just looked at it from the moment that we got the offer through. No matter where you took your first breath. I think it was just over Christmas. Kieran sent us a message, said, "Hey, we're doing these shows at the church. Would you like to come and bring Hello Cosmos to headline?" Just like a bolt of excitement from that. We hadn't played in 4 years, didn't really have a live band. Had about 6 weeks to plan it, but just couldn't turn it down. Stockport town boutique.
provides a bass line, not a bump. Loud is beautiful, loud is beautiful.
What is Hello Cosmos?
Good question. What is Hello Cosmos? I think Hello Cosmos, it really grew out of myself and my brother playing for fun. That's where it began. As it's grown, I tried to keep it as collaborative as possible. So, there's lots of different people who've played on different records. Probably over 50 collaborators throughout the project now have played in different ways. I've had to acknowledge at times that Hello Cosmos is me driving kind of project and art and things that interest me. But I've, been very, very front-footed about it being an opportunity for different people to work together, basically. I think there's been a big... Within music over the last 20 or 30 years, there's been this big push and this big idea that you can do everything yourself. There's been this huge transformation of people coming together in studio spaces, in jam spaces, in community spaces, and just all sitting in front of computers with their own little setups at home. I don't think that's that positive a thing. I think, there are great artists that make art by themselves and you can celebrate that, but I think the beauty of art is when people are coming together and connecting. I think Hello Cosmos really is my vehicle to bring people together and to make some cool art and just to hang out with nice and cool people.
Strengths, shadow, sun and sky, let's fuse you and I. We're in the bowels of Babylon tonight, yeah? Let's not fake for a single minute. Let's stay inside the mind of the golden sunrise. Let's quit pretending we're something we're not. This ain't hip-hop by numbers, not even if it's 3. From the first day until the very last, let's not fall to the feeble-minded. No, let's stay enlightened. For me to say less. Although as we all know, yes, silence it's never painless. There is a way out, there is a path. You will find it if you try. If you try. Ain't no God like looking in the mirror. Ain't no judgment on your last day but your own. But your own. Whispering words, a silent scream, a rumble of dust in a corridor of past memories. Let's get to thinking about things we shouldn't do. Let's have an engine of instinct. Vision shrunk out of seizures sown. I live in the rainbows and reflections of the light. It comes in, it comes out. It's stunning in the night. Colours my mood way of thinking and listen closely as I whisper. Let's paint the town, let's remember how to misbehave. Manifest your best days, beware silver haze. We don't need the silver screen and TV, it's been dead for years. But I'd give it all up for one drunken kiss.
Ben, who's in the band with you?
So, in the band with me is my brother, Simon. He plays drums. A phenomenal drummer, a phenomenal talent. Very lucky to have him kind of sitting in the wings. I wouldn't really, I don't think, be in a band if my brother hadn't started playing drums So my first experiences of live music in the little village of Brough, which is on the edge of the Lake District, was Saturday afternoons going and hanging out in the Memorial Hall when my brother would be rehearsing with his band, and just kind of hanging around that atmosphere, and just wishing I could be a part of it, and wishing I could kind of play. That led to me buying a bass guitar for my brother one Friday when he didn't have enough money for the pub, and that was my first instrument. So yeah, brother's on drums. And then on guitar is one of my oldest friends, Adrian. Also grew up in the village of Brough. We played in bands for over 20 years together now. We kicked around. The first band we played in together, we still play in now. It's a band called Death Retro. But Adrian's just had this really unique style on guitar. He, like when everybody was growing up trying to be the next Slash or whatever it was at the time, he just kind of kicked against that. Huge fan of Graham Coxon, huge fan of Radiohead, huge fan of Supergrass, and just developed this really kind of unique playing style. And has developed that through a massive array of pedals, just incredible. And nobody else I've ever heard sounds like Adrian on guitar, you know. And I've watched a lot of bands, so you know that goes a long way. Angela is on violin, synths, and we've tackled her into a bit of backing vocals on the recent EP. Angela, I've probably known for like 15 years plus now as well. I first got to know her when we were both invited to join a circus rave band, which is an interesting project. But Angela is just, again, a ludicrously talented person, and it's an absolute privilege to be able to kind of make music with her and have her in the band.
Don't go.
For St Mary's, we thought we would make it a 6-piece. So invited Isaac to join. Isaac's been building the studio here with us at Cosmic Glue. He's on the label as part of Vacant Weekends, and he's a phenomenal session player. So asked Isaac whether he'd join us on percussion, which he did. And then as we got closer to the gig, asked him if he would pick up the bass duties on a few tracks so I could jump around a little bit more like a moron and get a bit of energy going, get my hands moving and things like that. I have to say, listening back to the release, the best bass on the live record is the bass Isaac plays. But there you go. Kid's a bit of a genius. And yeah, for St Mary's, we were joined by Claire. Claire's a phenomenal saxophonist, so we're really lucky to have her. The energy that she brought to the show is just unbelievable. She brought sax lines into a lot of tracks that just didn't have them on record, but was just really wonderful, just full of energy and just, kind of happy to kind of dive in. Really brought a massive presence to the show. I've been lucky enough to collaborate with Claire through lockdown when we first got chatting on a couple of tracks as well, one called Golden Dirt and one called Loud is Beautiful. Really phenomenal tracks out on Cosmic Glue's big tape.
Dirt, our fertile foundations. You're poor because of those who live next door. No matter where you took your first breath, you're alright by me. I was the village till I built the town. Do you want to make some noise? Do you want to make some noise? The time the book got lost from the buckle on. Confused, we were tainted by hate. Time for a clean plate. Right out to the slaughter, the daily papers. Just sit it out, standing on the edge of the abyss. Total annihilation. Yeah. From the ground up we must protect this land from the creeping authoritarian hands. The dark agendas, the erosion of rights. Before the comforts in the night. When capitalism becomes the disaster. Disaster capitalism catches in again. Well, conspiracy or not, someone's pockets are getting lined by this rock. And it ain't yours, it ain't mine. Stop looking at the people on podiums to tell us when we're free. Tell us if it's okay to be. Clowns change, the ringmasters remain. But they ain't nothing without an audience. Turn your attention to your own situation. You try, you kid, and dig in. But the venue, amazing. Oh, it's a cool space, isn't it? Yeah, well, we'll probably be like half an hour or so, and then I can drop off all the stuff for the merch stall and all those bits. Keep an eye out for Emily. She'll be kicking around.
Do you think that a church was the right place for your sound?
It's interesting to be invited to play at a church, and I've got the utmost respect for Chris, who's the vicar there, who's chatted to Kieran and to Rebecca at Stock Arts, and they were very keen to raise the profile and raise the level of shows that happen in Stockport. And then Chris at the church is just the way that he put it, and I think it's a beautiful way to put it, is that it's a beautiful building built to be enjoyed and celebrated, and that they should open the doors and get people in to enjoy it. The content of the lyrics and the content of some of the messages in Hello Cosmos don't really, fit with a Sunday sermon, shall we say. There are some swears in there. There are some questions about whether it's a good idea or not to be supporting the idea of a god. There's some very tricky wickets if we really were going to sit down and kind of discuss the content of it. But I feel that it was a wonderful place to be able to, kind of open up and just redefine as well. And I think that's why we went for it with the Lazers and everything else. We thought, for the history, the reputation, the legacy of the church and Stock Arts and what they're trying to do, let's give them some really beautiful visuals. Let's make this thing celebrate. Let's see this in a light that it's never been seen before.
I caught you seeking, cut your beliefs while you broke this trust. Now that you see me, I've been waiting for something. Seems I'm still waiting, yeah. Smashing these plates now, showing your culture in the fireplace. Well, let's stick together. Let's be distinctly different, so you don't get bored. Since you're believing, yeah, you're believing every single word I say, you must be mistaken. Why the fuck would a guy with a guitar have something to say? Most people don't now. Gotta fill in their chorus with an ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, I'm just a little bit tired of being spoon-fed by the uninspired. Why don't you sink into this world now? So full of color and so full of life. We'll go dancing into the sunset. I'll raise you the dawn. Find some mischievous nature, yeah. Why don't you get raw? Why don't you speak something from your soul? Why don't you speak from your soul? Show us what you got. Hello, Cosmos. The music's the air that I breathe. Passion's a privilege. Yeah, a privilege for the whole of humanity. Eternity's a moment, a singular moment in which we observe. Love, it's a feeling. It'll blow down your doors till you hit repeat. Why don't you sink into this world now? So full of color and so full of life. We'll go dancing into the sunset. Now raise you the dawn. Find some mischievous nature, yeah. Why don't you get raw? Or don't you speak something from your soul? Why don't you speak from your soul? Show us what you got. What you got. What you got. What you got. What you got? What you got? What you got? Yeah!
What about the visuals that night?
Yeah, so the visuals. I guess my fear with that show was we hadn't done a show that big. So I thought, as you know, in my other day job as a promoter, I thought, how do I make this look bigger than the sum of its parts? I decided to call it an immersive gig, and then tried for a few weeks to unravel what on earth I meant by that and what the audience's expectations might now be. But as part of that, I love lights and lasers, and I've got a great friend called James Dickson, who's a phenomenal lighting designer, who's always there and always wants to put as much lights as you can possibly plug into a power socket, which in a church is quite difficult because they're not really wired for main stage gigs. So James put together the design. We decided to go heavy on the lasers. We thought that was cool. You know, we'd done that in a couple of press shots, and we thought that kind of fits the world of Hello Cosmos. So we're like, okay, let's go to town with the lasers. They look phenomenal. I mean, it was a real treat. As great as the band is, and as great as the audio is, I think that night was special for the audience and for everyone there, because it just felt like a real occasion. It felt like a lot of people feeding back to say thank you for just putting so much effort into a show. So it was nice that people really noticed the work of everybody in there. And as well as that, we had Emily join us as kind of picking up the arts coordination. So she worked on the little passes that people were given on the way in to make it kind of an immersive journey into space. Bless her, I bought 200 balloons thinking we'd throw a few out at this gig and then throw a few out at some other gigs. And kind of set her on to blow them up with like the little pumps. She came back later and she was like, right, we've done the balloons. I was like, cool, how many did you do, like 20 or 30? She was like, oh, we did them all. So there's actually the best part of 200 balloons are blown up that afternoon. And then we designed it just at the drop, halfway through Dream Harder at the end of the set. It was decided that we'll throw the balloons in there, but I didn't tell the rest of the band or anyone else that it was happening. So there's this real moment of like the audience being like, what's just happened? But also they can kind of feel it on the stage, the band going, whoa, we just kick it in for like, we've actually done it. We got to the end of the gig. It's been a great show, and it's a really cool moment with some balloons as well.
How important is live performance to you?
So I can't really live happily without live performance. I've had periods in my life where I have performed and where I haven't, and I really struggle when I don't. I actually struggle to enjoy watching other live performances when I don't, because there's a sense. I mean, it may be envy at its worst, but there's just a sense of just something lacking. And I've grown up playing in bands, wanting bands to erupt. I'll be honest, the art that I've made has not been exposed to any global audiences, has not been exposed to like huge audiences. But for the last 20 years, I've continually done it when I could have been doing other things. I've had opportunities to be more successful at other things and turn them down. But for me, I'm not kind of complete unless I'm doing it really. There's something about the energy, I think. There's something about feeling connected to the sound system, to the stage, to the other performers that you're with, and then actually connected to an audience. Says you better tie your shoelaces, cause this one's gonna blow your socks right off. Yeah, pass it forwards, let's pass this forwards. So I slipped my soul for 3 days on the road, cause tomorrow, yeah, it's happening. There's things that lie dormant, and it's about time for that to change. Because when culture is your friend, you have no enemies. When culture is your friend, you have no enemies. Come blend. And you can't sink a rainbow. Your dreams ain't coming true unless you hold them in your mind. But your fears will come knocking with a fist at the door if it's all you fill your idle mind space with. Cause these are my people and this is my place. We got faith in quality and the universal egg. So turn the pages, we've been waiting for ages. Let the words jump off the page and let's begin again. Again. Let's begin again. Again.